Guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm just going to tell you guys really quick that I forgot to do an intro, so I just popped up on my iPhone and here I am just kind of explaining what I'm going to do. You guys already know by the title what the video is about, but I just kind of felt like I didn't want to go straight into the video with no makeup on, so I went ahead, even though my makeup's been on for hours now, so it's already faded, it doesn't look great at all. But I still wanted to just jump on. And then, you know what, since I have just my phone and I can move it around, I talked about how I use my kids' room as my makeup studio, but I don't take their room away from them. They only sleep in here. This is their little bunk bed right here. But, you know, I keep my lighting and my camera and everything, but they have their own playroom, like that they just like do all their Xbox and everything as well. So they're only sleeping in here. So that's why it's easy for me to like use this room. But anyways, that's why it's hard for me to like film all the time, because I do have to set up everything. I would love this if I could just, this is my actual workstation. But yeah, so I keep this up all the time, obviously, but I definitely can't wait to get my own beauty room. Anyways, I just wanted to do the intro basically just to kind of explain my inspiration behind this video. And that was basically from about a year ago when Tati did her video with Scott Barnes, who is JLo's makeup artist. I really love that technique, but it's just something that I figured is just something, you know, like he does for her, like, you know, just for stage or whatever. But then when Hrush just recently did the video, she was like, this is how Jennifer Lopez likes her makeup. This is how she does it all the time. This is how she gets that JLo glow. You know, you think it's like, oh, what bronzer is she using? What, you know, highlight is she using? But really in all actuality, it literally is the makeup foundation application, because it's kind of layered. So it really does glow from within. Like I've had this on for hours and it's still pretty glowy. So it's kind of cool. So anyways, I would say if you want to see how you get this look, but it doesn't look fresh at all. So anyways, if you want to see how I did the technique for that, please keep watching. Okay, so I'm basically starting with my eyes pretty much done except for the underneath, which I'll do after. But this is more about the skin, so I just definitely thought that it would be nice to have my eyes already done and then I could just focus on my skin. Speaking of my skin, you can see the discoloration in my skin a lot with this lighting that I have, so it made me just like kind of realize that I need to start doing something for my skin. I've never had a laser or a peel or, you know, any of those things to kind of take dead layers of skin off. I mean, I take care of my skin, I exfoliate my skin, but it's all like home stuff. So I think it's time to go and get my skin done. Every year around my birthday is when I do like a little filler or something here and there. So I think I'm gonna focus on my skin. And then maybe we'll see how that changes everything. And I think it's a good time to do it because if I'm wearing a mask, you won't really see anything. So I think I better get on that. Anyways, so the look, obviously by the title, you know what I'm doing today. And it's funny because without saying where I work, I actually met Jennifer Lopez and Scott Barnes. They came in together with a whole entourage. But, you know, it was kind of cool for me. It was more like, you know, Jennifer Lopez, I'd seen her before there. But this time was like she brought Scott Barnes too. And it was kind of cool because I'm like more starstruck on him because I'm like totally into makeup. So I was kind of like, whoa, you know. So yeah, so I think that's kind of cool. So when I saw this look, I was just like, wow, now I want to replicate it and see if I could do it. So the funny thing is, after I saw Hrush's video, I had a lot of the products that she already had. I don't know if she was using, when she's talking about the concealers that she was using from Bobbi Brown, she used like this little palette, but it's like I looked on, you know, I clicked on the little thing and it was like literally sold out, but I think I saw it on Amazon or something. It's like almost $300, and there's no way I'm gonna spend $300 on, you know, if you're a makeup artist, that is a perfect kit to have because you have everybody's color, but I'm not gonna get that for me for a couple colors. Now the funny thing is there was the color from Bobbi Brown and Almond, and I already had that, so I'm gonna use that. So, and you know, I've had this for years, and I've used it, but it's like I get bored of things and I buy new ones. But now that I saw that, I'm like, hey, I can pull out my Almond and use that. So now my skin is hydrated, but I feel like with all this makeup that we're gonna put on, I'm going to just kind of refresh my skin. And I got the Fresh Vitamin Nectar Antioxidant Glow Water. So I'm gonna spray my skin and just give it like a little bit of a, and this smells so good, yum. So just kind of giving myself a little bit of hydration to my skin before I start layering it with all this makeup. Again, this is not a makeup look that I would do on a daily at all. It's just for fun. So what I'm gonna do is take the Bobbi Brown stick and I'm gonna go just around the forehead And I think she went, because she did it in a cream palette, she basically swirled it in her little brush. That's what I was about to say. I don't know if that was the cream concealer or foundation. This is an actual foundation stick, so it might be a different product, but I'm pretty sure it's similar. So basically what we're doing is doing the contour underneath your foundation. So it doesn't matter that it's a little bit darker because you're gonna put the foundation over it. So yeah, it looks pretty crazy, and but that's how it's supposed to be. So we're gonna do a little bit down our nose. I always do the little like line at the top right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and go up. I'm very narrow at the top, but I'm still gonna put the little line there because I will blend it into my eyeshadow. So we've got that going on. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my little JD Weighty 180 brush, and I'm just gonna like soften this really quickly and get it into my eye socket to kind of blend with my eyeshadow, just so it's not so harsh right there. Because she really doesn't blend this out, she basically sets the foundation over it, but obviously you can't do that in your eye, so I just want to get rid of that really quick. And then I'll even take my brush that I used for my eyeshadow and just kind of blend it out a little bit right there. Once I have everything blended, it'll be fine. But okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and start buffing the contour. And you don't want to do it too harsh to where you're blending it out, because you are putting foundation over it, so you don't want to like buff it out too much to where you don't see it anymore. So as much as this is so freaking harsh, you can tell I don't have any foundation on yet, so that's gonna all go on top. So you definitely want to keep it a little strong so it's still gonna show. So I think I've said it many times, I always use on my chin because I have a longer chin. And then she like literally goes up on the side of the ear. This looks like so absolutely crazy, but we're gonna just trust the process, right? And blend it out. Like I said, it's kind of ironic that she had these colors, or she had almond and chestnut. Chestnut's darker, I think, so it probably would have even been darker, but this was already dark for me, but I had it and I've used it, but I definitely don't use it this strong, especially since I'm normally doing it over my foundation. So I'm just definitely doing a lot harsher since it's going under. Okay, I think that's about as much as I'm gonna blend out right now, because I don't, like I said, I don't want to take away. But she does, Hrush says she doesn't use, that JLo doesn't use a beauty blender, but I can't not. I kind of just feel like, oh my God, I have to. So if I was as good of a makeup artist as Scott Barnes or Hrush, then I would do that, but I can't. I gotta make sure that my shit's blended. So I'm just gonna do that. Now, she does two foundations. The funny thing is, so Scott Barnes, I think, used Vita Lumiere in the actual foundation, and then Hrush used the Vita Lumiere Aqua, which is a lot lighter. It's a lighter version. But I already had 30 beige. That's already my color. So I already had that, and that's what she used. But then she said she used a 50 also, so I just went and got the 50. So that way I have the two, just to see if this actually really like translates the way she said by using the two colors. So the next thing is the concealer. So I don't have any of the Kryolan palette that she used for concealer, but I mean, I have tons of concealer, so I can just use that. I have the Cinema Secrets palette of concealer, and I also have the Motives, which actually has concealer and contour, but I'm not gonna use those. I'm gonna go ahead and just use my regular concealer because I really want it to be pretty strong, and she does like a double concealer. So I'm gonna do this one first, which is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in Light. And I'm gonna go underneath my eyes with this. And the reason I'm using this one first is because you can be pretty heavy-handed on this one because it doesn't dry as fast as some of the other concealers. And since she does go ahead and use two concealers, I'm not gonna do that one first. I'll do that one after. So I'm gonna do this first just to kind of get that concealer on there. I don't remember if she went underneath the cheeks, but I don't think so. So, well, let's just do it anyways, just to kind of get rid of that contour harshness. So from there, I am gonna go ahead and take a brush and just kind of soften it a little bit. I just like kind of press so it's nice and, you know, so it's not so heavy. Like I said, this is like crazy to think that you would like do this on a daily, but if you are wanting your makeup to be like spot on and really contoured, and then, you know, this would be the one to do. So let's see how this works. So you gotta shake it up because it does say Vitalumar Aqua, which means water. So you wanna, it's water-based, so you wanna make sure it's shaken up. And then I'm gonna take a foundation brush. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use my Real Techniques brush. And this is the buffing brush. So I'm gonna just like literally pat that in there. And this is the lighter color, so this is where we're gonna go over the lighter parts of the face, not the contour part. So I'm literally going around and now adding the foundation. So what I'm gonna do is lightly just kind of go over the nose. I'm just gonna pat it. You notice I'm patting, I'm not swirling, because I don't wanna take anything away. As you can see, it's already really taken away that already, so I'm just doing that. So now obviously I still have that darkness going on. And this is where I just don't get how she doesn't use a beauty blender, because to me, no matter how much I tap or whatever, I feel like I'm still gonna have that feeling of like that heavy makeup. So I'm gonna use a different brush for the darker one. I'm gonna use the Lime Life by Alcone. It's a duo fiber brush. And now we're gonna go in with the 50. Before I put the dark one on, I totally forgot to do under the lip. I've done it before where you just kind of go right here. Goes all the way like a lip liner underneath. And it's cray, but she said that Jennifer Lopez loves to do that. She makes it like a little lip liner on the top of the lip to make it fuller. Okay, that's crazy. That is like some lips. Okay, so now I've got the 50 and I'm gonna go around the contour part. And the weird thing is, this color is not that different. It's not so much darker than I thought it was. Like when I watched her video, I thought like 50 was gonna be hugely different color, and it's not. So it's like perfect. Like it just literally blends out that color. So I really like that. Now, like I said, this would be something that, you know, your skin's gonna look amazing, but are you really gonna wanna take the time every day to do this? I don't know. But I definitely like the look of it. And then with this foundation, like I said, it's like a water-based foundation, so it doesn't feel very heavy, even though I'm doing 2 layers of this. Now, I'm gonna be different, and I'm not gonna do what she did. She did literally like another layer on top. I'm not gonna do that. To me, this feels like enough. Like I feel like already like cake face. So I'm not gonna do the second layer, but if you do wanna know what she said that JLo actually does, she literally goes with another layer of foundation and another layer of concealer and contour and foundation. So now for this one, because you have that dark one around the edge, you do wanna bring it down your neck because you don't want that distinguishing telltale sign that you're wearing like darker makeup. So as you can see, I'm bringing it down my neck. Now, again, I'm not, I don't feel comfortable not blending it out, so I'm gonna take the sponge and I'm gonna just kind of dab over that, just like that. Hey you guys, so I totally did like a little editing error. I'm doing a TikTok at the same time of this video, and I totally like forgot to like start my video before I blended out the contour, so I had to put my contour back on my nose. So when I came back on to do my foundation, I forgot to blend out my contour. So that's why I had the nose contour back on there again. So I'm just going back over with the first color, the first foundation, just dabbing over that again so you can see it's nice and blended out again. So you guys are probably like how did that happen? But that's why, like literally during the video, I stopped and started doing a TikTok. So it's kind of funny, I'm doing that one where nobody's gonna know it's about, and it's funny, that's what I've always wanted to do, that one. But then in Hrush's video, she actually talked about that for this one. I mean, a lot of people do that with this kind of like, usually it's more like overlining your lips, but this was funny. I was like, hey, I can use it with this one. So anyways, that's why my makeup was like kind of done and then undone again. So, okay, hopefully that makes sense. But anyways, okay, so now I feel really heavy again. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit more of that water just to kind of give a little bit more hydration again. And I'm just gonna kind of pat over my lips. So now I'm going to take one more concealer. I'm not gonna do the whole contour and concealer again, but I am gonna do my second concealer, which I usually always do, a brightening concealer. And I'll put this one just a little bit in the center and a little bit on the outside. and it's very light, but it's just gonna brighten my area, my eye area. So I'm gonna just kind of put that in the inner corner and the outer corner. And then I'm just gonna take a little dot, little line down my nose. That's it, just a little bit here. And this is the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer in Fair Warm. So I'm just, it's very, very highly pigmented, so you can see I'm not using a lot. I'm just kind of blending that out a little bit. Okay, so before I set everything, you guys, I want to do this little hack that I learned on TikTok. I think I'm on TikTok way too much, but this is a great little trick, especially someone like me who's older, who has like fine lines under her eyes. Take out all the creasing, and then I have so many setting sprays already, but I got this little trial size of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish setting spray because I wanted to see if I like it, and I really do. So I probably will get the bigger one when this is done. But anyways, I'm gonna take a little bit on my hand and then take my little beauty blender, so it has a little bit of that setting spray on there, and go underneath your eye, and then just kind of set it just directly. Instead of just doing it like, instead of just using like water, I'm using an actual setting spray to set that. And you just keep kind of going until you can tell it's kind of set. You can even kind of, they did it with their finger, but I think it really works. It really helps. So you put that on before your powder. So for the powder, I'm gonna use, again, Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Powder. And I'm gonna use my little brush that I always use, which is from Wayne Goss. Tap it off, and then just kind of set under there. And that just literally sets that makeup right there. If you have really oily skin, at this time you can take your big powder brush or whatever and just kind of set your whole face with something else. As I've said multiple times, I have very dry skin, so I'm not gonna set everything else. It already feels really heavy already, so I'm going to just go right into my bronzer. So I am gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I wish I could say that I was sponsored, but I'm not. I paid for all this myself, and it's very expensive. But I just, like I think I've said before, I just love her makeup. And I'm actually using the eyeshadow as well. Like I have a little something different. I'll list it, but I do have the little Dolce Vita palette. This is a little older, but I have that in my eyes too. So it's like a lot of Charlotte Tilbury I'm using today, and Chanel, so very bougie. But anyways, I'm gonna take that with my Morphe and Jaclyn Hill brush. This is the JHO2. And we're gonna go ahead and bronze that up. And then this I'm gonna make sure I take over my ears, because my ears are gonna look a lot whiter than my face. For blush, let's just stick on that Charlotte Tilbury train, and we will use the Cheek to Chic in Ecstasy. It's a real pretty neutral. I don't know if you can tell the color. It's kind of like a little neutral color on that, but then the pink on the inside. And I will take that with the Jaclyn Hill. This is the JH04. So I'll put that on, and I'm gonna swirl that in, tap it off, and then just kind of go right top the cheekbones, bring it up. The nose contour, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Morphe E62 brush, and I'll go back with my, I'm just gonna go back with my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, because I don't want it to be too heavy, because I already have that contour underneath there, and I'm just gonna kind of warm it up a little bit just so it kind of... I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Fit Me powder, and this one is in the color Translucent 100. And it's so funny because I just picked this up because I, after doing my drugstore makeup, I realized I didn't have any drugstore powder, and I had like a coupon from CVS for Maybelline, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna try it because I've heard a lot of good stuff about this, and I really do like it. So this is all I'm gonna use it for, though, is the side of my nose because it's very pigmented. So I just use that down there. And I'm gonna let it sit there for a little bit while I just go underneath my eyes. So I'm gonna come back after I go underneath my eyes now that I have my concealer and everything done. Here's the part where I never ever would have thought to do this. I don't think Scott Barnes did this one, but Hrush did this one. She went back after we set the contour with the bronzer and everything, she went back with the light colored foundation right in the center over the powder, which I've never done because they always say like don't put powder, like put powder with powder, liquid with liquid. So not to go over your powder with a liquid. But I don't know if it's because this foundation, like I've never done that before, so I never would have thought to do it. But I don't know if it's because this is a water-based makeup, but it actually is fine. And it doesn't move your makeup and it doesn't like muddy up or anything. It's very pretty. And that's where they say her JLo Glow comes from, because it's literally like it's like moisture over that powder. The powder's locked underneath, and then you've got a little bit of that glow on top. So that is 100% something I never would have thought to do ever. But maybe it's just with this makeup, I don't know. I've never tried, and I never would wear this much makeup. So I guess you could just try it with this. But I'm for myself, I don't know, she didn't say it, but I'm just gonna go, I didn't put anything on it, but this was the one that I had the dark one with, and I'll just go over the outside. So it's kind of like bringing back the moisture from the darker makeup. So that's pretty much it for that. Now let's do the lips. I'm gonna go with my favorite lip liner in Charlotte Tilbury again. This is the iconic Nude. For the lipstick, and I'm gonna use the Christian Audette and Mel Thompson lipstick. It's a really pretty nude. But I don't really like this kind of nude on me, so I'm gonna add a little bit of gloss that has a little bit of, like a little bit more color to it. So for the lip gloss, I just used the Luxie gloss from called Bon Bon. It just has like a little bit of a pinky kind of color to it, so it gives more more color to that lipstick. I don't even have highlighter on yet, and I feel like my skin looks really dewy and glowy, hence the JLo Glow. I'm gonna go ahead and put a highlighter on though, and I'm gonna use the old school Mary Luminizer from the Balm. Remember this one? I'm gonna use this forever, but I just kind of saw it in my drawer and I thought, hey, I could use it for this glowy look. There's that. A little bit on my nose. Put a little bit up here. And there you go. So the next thing I'm gonna do is just put some mascara on the bottom. Oh, my lashes, I'm wearing actually Scott Barnes lashes today. Just because like he is her makeup artist. And these ones are called Vanessa. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna put a little mascara on the bottom and then do my hair, and I'll be right back. So I'm back with the finished look, and I just basically put a little mascara on the bottom. So basically with this whole underpainting technique, I feel like it's not as hard as it would seem, or that it looks, because it looks really harsh when you're first doing it. But basically you're just using a darker contour, and that's why it looks so crazy. But once you put the foundation over it, it was easy to blend out and everything. So I think the only thing that was a little bit something that you wouldn't do all the time is the double foundation. I don't feel like you have to do the lighter color and then the darker color like on a daily. I really liked this technique, and I hope you guys liked it as well. If you want to kind of refer to what I kept mentioning in the video, was Scott Barnes doing Tati's makeup on, it's on Tati Westbrook's her page. Scott Barnes did her makeup the way he does JLo's makeup, and then Hrush did her video on herself of how she actually did Jennifer Lopez's makeup. So they're both basically the same technique, but I think it's really cool to know that basically Hrush was saying this is how Jennifer likes her makeup done, and that's why everybody refers to the JLo Glow. Well, this is how she gets it. It's not always just by the bronzer or whatever. It's literally how she gets the glow from her foundations, like how we added the foundation on top. I've never done that before. I just would, that would like scare me to do that before, but when I watched her do it and I'm looking at my own skin and it looks good, then I'm just like, wow, I'll do that from now on. Especially me with dry skin, I like to have that feeling of having like that extra moisture on top instead of just having the powder. So yeah. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video.